Welcome back, everyone, to this CONCACAF Olympic qualifying match between the USA and Mexico. If you're just tuning in, you might be surprised at the score. It's scoreless between these two clubs after a 9-0 Costa Rica win over Puerto Rico. Came into this game thinking that maybe Mexico would be playing to keep the score down, worry about the goal differential. They've done well organizationally.
They've kept the goal differential exactly how it was before the game started. It's 0-0 because of their commitment and their discipline and staying organized. They've kept it very compact, not allowing a lot of balls behind them, but also really breaking up any kind of service that's going on in front of them.
Well, you had said before, the key would be how long can they maintain that. They went 45 and looked good.
Yeah, but this next 45, goes without saying, is more critical because more of the game is on the line, but also we're going to get to see how fit Mexico is. How can they stay committed? You can see Santiago, she's one of the leaders on this team as a goalkeeper, trying to boost this team. And look at, they're trying to figure it out. And this is great if you're Mexico. This is a team that's trying to get their reputation back. They had a horrible World Cup, and we're going to get to see some adjustments that are being made on the United States side in order to change this game and how they're playing.
Kristen Press is going to be coming into the game, replacing Crystal Dunn. Those two might be playing for a starting spot in the upcoming Olympics on that right side. Could be.
It's going to be interesting to see what type of shape the United States is going to have now. Are they going to stay in a 4-5-1? Are they going to have Press stay out wide? Or are they going to move her more higher up top and be closer to a linking player, go to maybe 3 up top or 4-4-2?
Santiago will put it back into play. Mexico in red, USA in white if you're just tuning in. Yellow card on Tobin Heath, so she'll have to be a little cautious in the second half. Kristen Press scored a magnificent goal on Wednesday. Certainly would be a candidate for goal of the tournament, though we saw in the last game with Costa Rica at least one, if not a couple, of candidates for that as well. And there are still more games to be played. Sauerbrunn for the U.S. Wide for Klingenberg. In USA territory, it's Johnston. Krieger to her side. She'll push forward. Out wide, Heath. Press on the run. Trying to cut it back. It's going to be a goal kick.
Already making an impact for this team, Kristen Press. She started on the left-hand side, and we were talking in the last half about how critical off-the-ball movement will be in order to put some pressure on this well-organized Mexican side. That right there didn't earn them a corner kick or a chance on goal, but it did unsettle that Mexico back line. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next second part of this game and how she can impact it.
If you're the U.S., how do you get the two most important players in your offense into the game? Carly Lloyd and Alex Morgan, not a factor in the first half.
I think you just got to get them service, but the service issues have come to me as just their angles off the ball. So the entry ball comes in, but it's really that second runner. They've been too tight or they've been too flat, too close to them. So I think if they figure that out, and that's an evolution, that's a development of this new side that's going to come, but only through time and through errors and successes. And we're going to see that evolve in this game.
Tobin Heath cutting towards the middle. She's taken down, gets the call, free kick. USA, and a yellow card as well. Noyola goes in the books.
Well, from that angle, Noyola is coming from a behind position, and if she did indeed touch Tobin Heath or a little nick, because of the angle at which she approached, that is a yellow card, even if the intent or it wasn't that violent. The referees do try to limit any type of challenge coming from angle behind.
Mexico have to be careful conceding free kicks this close to goal. Lloyd had an opportunity from about 30 yards earlier. This is going to be closer. This will be about 22 yards away. Morgan Bryan will take this. 3 in the wall for Mexico. 22-year-old Morgan Bryan ready to strike. Looping it up there. Oh, big collision. 2 players down. Both focused on the ball. Unfortunate, neither one was hurt. Lloyd and Mejia.
Yeah, Lloyd is so fearless coming at the ball. Mejia doesn't even see her coming. That actually just looks like Mejia went up and the ball ricocheted off Lloyd's head. But I like that service better from Morgan Bryan. They've hit a lot of things near post, and it just hasn't clicked yet. So you know what? Adjust what Jill Ellis wants them to do on their own. Adjust. Maybe pick out a different target or go to a different spot in your service.
50th minute, scoreless. Mexico and the United States from Frisco, Texas. First game ended up 9-0. Costa Rica over Puerto Rico. But right now, Mexico is still doing better with a goal differential. They're a +6. Costa Rica's a +4. That's not a good sight, considering Alex Morgan has had probably too many injuries to even remember for this U.S. team. Only played in 4 games last year in the NWSL.
Yeah, you never want to see her go down. She's so impactful, and even if she's not scoring, she's creating chances. But Mejia, she puts her arms out, and then she's just protecting herself as she goes up. But unfortunately, her arms aren't out the minute she jumps up.
It's good to see Morgan back up. Couldn't tell whether it was more of the head that hit the ground or lower body.
Right, when she was coming down.
Johnston finding her central defense partner there in Sauerbrunn. Intercepted. Intended for Dominguez. She was slowed down. U.S., we said before, were sharper the other night, but maybe part of that was the way Costa Rica played. As you pointed out, Mexico seems much more organized than Costa Rica was the other night. And of course, when you give up a goal 12 seconds in, that didn't do much to help the confidence of Costa Rica.
No, Mexico did a good job coming out strong that first 5 minutes, not really giving any looks to the United States, and then maintaining their composure and discipline defensively, preventing and plugging up those seams and gaps. But that also helps when you're playing 5 in the back.
Heath trying to fire. It was blocked by Farias. Rangel got a piece, not all. The turnaround shot from Press off the post. Rebounded out for Klingenberg. Garcia Mendez. So I thought Press had the first goal. Driven in by Morgan Bryan, and it goes wide. U.S. nearly had the first goal. And again, it was through the work of Kristen Press.
Well, Kristen Press is coming in off a sub, and as a sub, you want to be as impactful as possible. She realizes there's no one on her back shoulder, quickly turns and plants and rifles a shot. She has an excellent technique when she shoots. She can shoot from any angle. It's just a matter, to me, is if she can get her feet set. And that time she did, and was just a little bit off the mark. And Santiago, she was going to be beat. So she's so thankful that that ball hit that post, because there's no way she could have covered that. But you get the feeling that if Mexico lets in one goal, there's going to be another one.
Again, to their credit, they've done well to this point. 53rd minute. This might be the longest stretch I've seen them this well organized defensively in a game, especially against the U.S.
Reminds you of the Mexico in the early 2000s to mid 2000s, 10 years ago. This is how they used to be. It used to be very difficult to play against them. And then add Dominguez in there up top, who was 10 years younger.
Another player down. That's Heath. Flores. That's blocked. Lloyd. Try to find Heath. Out it goes.
You do wonder how good this Mexico side could have been, though, when they're missing so many players. You get to see Heath again involved in a little push-off from Rangel. Ref decided to let that one go. You just wonder what the quality of this Mexican side could have been. You know, they have some federation issues. They had some players that have disagreements with Cuellar, the head coach. There's about 5 players that aren't on this roster for a variety of reasons, including those I just mentioned. You just wonder how much more dangerous they could have been.
Sauerbrunn holding there for the U.S. Johnston. A lot of giveaways tonight as well for the U.S. Maybe part of that frustration, forcing balls in.
The unforced errors. That's something that I thought was so impressive in the World Cup. And as they got better.
Here's Bryan. Out wide. Morgan. Back post area. And that's going to go out.
To go back to that, I thought that's where as they started to improve and do better and play better, is because the number of the unforced errors went down. But those errors happen because this defense is so well organized. So it's just a little bit more concentration on the technique. And I actually just think a lot more movement and unselfish movement. Just moving off the ball, knowing you're not going to get it, but hoping that you pull somebody else out of position and shift that Mexican back line.
Carly Lloyd. Played it forward. Here's Morgan. Thought about a shot from distance. It was blocked. Campo lets it go out. It's a USA throw in for Klingenberg. In quickly. Horan. Bryan. Nice ball. Morgan trying to run onto it. Who touched it last? She thinks corner. And that's what it is.
Morgan's doing a good job in the second half, though, finding those pockets and starting to turn into that space to a preferred left foot, even though she's dangerous with both her right and her left.
Bryan towards the middle, towards Heath. It bounces again. Outside of the box, Horan. She'll be playing with Portland this season in the NWSL. It's too far away from Morgan, but kept in by Bryan, who took that corner. Wide for Klingenberg, too far wide, out of play. If Mexico could ever win this game, it's obviously an upset. But a draw would be an upset too.
It would be. This would end up being probably the best game of the group for the United States. And the biggest test, and something that they can learn from, and something that they can take and train from. Like, how are you going to break down when a team is playing 5 in the back and 4 very disciplined defensively midfielders?
Conventional thought coming into this was that Mexico would be playing to keep the score down. And by down, we didn't mean 0. We probably meant maybe 3, maybe 4.
I don't think the U.S. has come out with less intensity and aren't focused. I think they came out mentally prepared. I just think Mexico has taken them out of the game that we saw them play against Costa Rica.
It's a good test here for the U.S. to try to elevate their game and get 3 points out of this. Lloyd blocked. Stays with it, but it's cleared away. Gets by Sauerbrunn. The chase is on. That's Dominguez. She still has some legs at 37, but Sauerbrunn is not going to be beaten to that ball.
She still has legs, but she is not nearly as fast. Right there we saw it as she used to be. The old Maribel Dominguez would have blown past Sauerbrunn.
Bad giveaway there by Mejia. Allows Lloyd to take it. Mejia did well to position herself there, slowing down Carly Lloyd. U.S. keeps possession. Klingenberg shakes loose, sends it into the box. One header, cleared away. Just outside the box, Noyola just gets it out of danger. It's a USA throw-in. Krieger. Horan. Lloyd, somewhat open. They close down on her pretty quickly, though. Good pressure there. Tobin Heath takes it away from Flores. And that ball was out. Entire ball over the line. Goal kick.
This game is opening up And you're going to see more moments of this where a little bit of individual brilliance, a little bit more creativity individually that we didn't see in the first half is starting to come out because the game is opening up.
Why is it opened up at this point? What are you seeing?
I think the urgency that the U.S. tried to have in the first half has come together, has come out a bit more. And I also wonder if Mexico's getting a bit tired. Could be a combination of both. And then, or maybe the insertion of Kristen Press. I mean, there's so many factors, but not just one is contributing to it.
The fact that, well, let's make sure that she's okay first. Ryan Hell is the player down. The fact that Jill Ellis went to her bench at halftime is the injury. Somewhat telling, I think, Kate, because we mentioned before, she likes to have the players problem solve on the field, but she doesn't normally make a change like that at halftime in a game that means something. Maybe victory tour or a game that's more of a friendly, but
right, it's never a
good thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's hard.
Never a good thing to come out at halftime.
It's hard to come out at halftime when no one else is, because you know that maybe you weren't doing your job as effectively, but you hope it's B, is that they just want to change the style.
Yeah, and I'm assuming also that there's no injury. We don't know that.
It looks it looks like she got a cleat, Lindsay Horan's cleat, when she was coming down. To me, it looks like she scraped her back a little bit. Red Hell.
So, talked about Mexico in the 15-minute increments of keeping the shutout. Better than an hour now.
It is very impressive and unexpected. You know, this is a team, though, that is fighting for their reputation. People say that they're the fourth best team in the region now. You got United States, Canada, Costa Rica has usurped them. So, you know, this is a team that's got something to play for and kind of wants to earn it back. And they're putting on a great display against the United States.
Ryan on the run. Good effort, good tackle. And then Ocampo is able to get there in front of Klingenberg. Marola makes a run, is open. Dominguez makes another run as well, trying to get to this ball. And Julie Johnson does a good job to shield it. It's going to be a corner. They're going to get their first one. And finally, Ryan Hell is back in. She probably was out a minute and a half or so. That's still going to hurt for a while. So here's an opportunity for Mexico. They've not looked good offensively during the run of play, but here's a chance on a corner.
Yeah, they're not exactly the most dangerous on set pieces due to their lack of aerial dominance because they're not the tallest team. It's going to be curious to see who Ocampo tries to pick out and in what spot in the field they think that is going to be the most dangerous and most giving the best potential to score.
They overshot Dominguez and everyone else for that matter.
Yeah, they're going for Garcia Mendez, number 4, the center back from Stanford. Has been playing overseas for a while.
It's a goal kick for Hope Solo. 2 saves the other night, 92 career shutouts, 141 career wins for Solo.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Both USA records. Krieger. Left there and miss hit by Press. Well, the U.S. is in unfamiliar territory, not just against Mexico, but against most teams. To have a 0 on the board in the 63rd minute, it's not something you see often from a U.S. team.
It isn't, but we're also looking at a team that's in transition. You've had a leadership transition. You have your 2 captains, the Wambach and the Rampone. They're not here. Wambach's retired. Rampone is recovering from injury. You have, so there's been a transition of power now with Lloyd and Sauerbrunn leading this team, as well as Morgan and Solo, who are kind of the 4 leaders of this group. So not only that, and now you have 2 new players in the center of the midfield launching attacks with Horan and Bryan. It's going to take time to gel. And if you're the U.S. coach, as long as you qualify, you're okay. You're going to appreciate these opportunities to grow.
Lloyd wide for Heath. Tobin Heath sends it across. Dead in there. There's Press. Couldn't come around on it. Lloyd looks for it. It's blocked. Heath over the bar. But it had 3 looks.
The ball in starts with Heath, curves it in so it's going away. Press tries to duplicate what she did against Costa Rica. Carly Lloyd Strong comes into it. The defender doesn't have an easy clear because both her and Lloyd are going for it. Garcia Mendez and Heath gets the ball underneath the ball, and this hits it.
On that first replay, it looked like Farias either got a piece of press or a piece of the ball. It's not as easy as it may have looked.
No, I didn't think it was a foul at all, but I think it was a very difficult move that press was trying to recreate from the other night. That earned her many kudos in social media.
Tough one to recreate.
I think someone called it a unicorn moment, which I didn't quite know what that meant. I guess it meant magical, and I was like, oh, well, okay, well played.
Farias moving it right. Played back by Romero. Farias, Cecilia Santiago. 65th minute. USA and Mexico. Zeros still on the board in this Olympic qualifier. Ari Romero will take the throw in. Dominguez. Long distance shot. Well wide of Hope Solo. The U.S. has made one change, and you wonder if it's not broke, you don't fix it. So I'm thinking Mexico may keep this the way it is unless fatigue has set in somewhere, and Leo Cuellar would know that.
Yeah, I think they would change. Depends on how Ocampo is doing, who's been so good in this game defensively, committed up and down the flanks. But to me, she's running a bit gingerly. More gingerly than she did in the beginning of the game. So I think she's getting a bit fatigued.
Here's Heath for the U.S. Going forward. It's blocked. Garcia Mendez knocked it for Noyola. That's blocked as well. It's going to go out of play, and it's Mexico's ball. And the last thing Leo Cuellar would want to do is sub when they're playing this well defensively. But he might have to. Heath, Krieger, Bryant for Carly Lloyd. That's knocked away. Gathered back in. Sent wide. Cross to the far side. Klingenberg against Romero. And Ari Romero clears it out. It's a USA throw-in the 67th minute. Sauerbrunn into the box. Knotted down by Horan. And that's over the bar.
That's a new wrinkle I have not seen from the United States. Becky Sauerbrunn, the center back, coming in. Didn't know she was known for a long throw, and that just might be my ignorance. But looking for Horan, this was absolutely a scripted play with Alex Morgan timing her run. Clearly gets on it. But kudos to Mexico, putting enough pressure, Garcia Mendez, on Morgan, so Morgan does not have an easier shot on goal. So close. And you just wonder if it's a matter of time before the United States puts one in, but with committed defending by Garcia Mendez and the rest of this Mexican back line, it's not going to be easy.
Bryan, crossed the way. Sauerbrunn. Kristen Press turning. Trying to shake loose from a defender or two. Try and play it out wider. U.S. is able to collect it with Krieger. Bryan. Horan tried to slip it through. Appeals for a handball denied. Johnston. Looking to turn. Horan trying to slip it through. Klingenberg was making that run.
Horan is a converted forward. That's what she's played. I would love to see her turn and have a go.
She'll play it up there for a header that goes over the bar. Another opportunity for Alex Morgan. They are getting their looks now, but they're still not scoring. And we are going to see a change. Dominguez is going to be coming out of the game. Replaced by Katie Johnson, who didn't play in college a year ago at USC, rehabbing from an injury. She scored the other night. Well done by Dominguez. I wouldn't have thought she would have played 90. They may need her on Monday night.
Yeah, I thought she might play 60. And she definitely doesn't have the pace that she used to have, but she compensates for that with her leadership, with her ability to communicate on the field and how she thinks the team should play. And they're bringing in somebody who can just run. She showed that she can be explosive, she can chase, and she can get after it. She's not afraid of the physical challenge.
Katie Johnson wearing number 10, 14 goals in 58 games in 3 years collegiately. Here's Lloyd, blocked there. See where Johnson plays, if she'll play up high, as Dominguez did. She's probably capable because of the young legs of doing some more defensive work. Sauerbrunn for Johnston. 70th minute. Still a surprising scoreline. Zeros on the board. USA and Mexico. Knocked away by Perez. Krieger. Each team now has made just the one change. Press had a tackle away.
With that space so congested in front of the back line, I would love to see more passing. And instead of threading the needle like that, where you actually don't have a player from the front line running in behind, that's when I'd love to see them pass it out wide and then set up that time to get those runners going. It's just too tight.
Perez is coming out. Carla Nieto will be coming on.
She usually brings brings Nieto in when the midfield is not doing well, when they're getting a bit overrun, or the team in general. She's usually that one that sits in front of that back line, and she's tiny, but she's nimble and she's able to clean up things. So, like we're saying, that the United States is starting to create a little bit in that pocket in front of the back line. They're bringing in her to stop it.
Into the box it comes. Blocked. U.S. gets it back with Bryan. 23 yards away. Now it's going to go out of play. Belongs to Mexico. Leo Quer might have sensed that some players were fatiguing because of all this possession that the U.S. has had lately. He's made the two changes. Noyola. Here's Ocampo. Had the head on the swivel, thought help was coming on one side. It was not. Tackled away from her. Picked up by Julie Johnston. Lloyd. Klingenberg. Referee has stopped play for an injury.
Ocampo and Bryan and Horan. Ocampo goes down hard and awkwardly.
This could be a tough one. They've already made two changes, and she's one of their leaders. She's one of the players they would hope could go 90. Are you surprised, though, Kate, that the U.S. has made only the one change at this point, with the score being the way it is?
That's a good question, and probably one that Jill is asking herself. Should we change it? Who are we going to put in? What are they going to bring? Can Mallory Puig, does she has that sophistication yet to break down a really organized back line? You know, you have other options. Do you bring in a target forward? Or bring McCaffrey streaking down that line a little bit? And where do you put him? You know, I would think about possibly McCaffrey. I would think about Puig if you want to put her more on that right side. I think they just need to get the width a little bit because they've gotten a little bit too focused, too direct in that center. And I think they can get a little bit of their dynamic cohesion that they're trying to build, those relationships, if they just get it wide a little bit. Reestablish that width.
Were they doing a better job of that in the first half with the width?
I think they were, and they were actually playing it a bit more often. Tobin likes to cut in a little bit on this right-hand side. Tobin Heath, number 17. Now that she's on the right, when on the left, she really likes to stay wide. So they're going to need to recreate that with Krieger coming up on that right-hand side.
It's another one of those unforced errors. It's like a wrist injury. They're going to tape up Ocampo, and she'll get right back out there with the referee's permission. 74th minute. USA and Mexico locked in a scoreless one. if this result were to stand, Mexico and the U.S. would each have 4 points at the end of a couple of games. Mexico, because of goal differential, would still be on top. The U.S. was hoping for an easier game today. 3 points and maybe rest some players on Monday.
Yeah, Megan Klingenberg came out and said, you know, we're going to try to get as many goals as we can. We want to make sure this is at least interesting as possible qualifying game. And it didn't quite turn out that way, but credit to Mexico. And you just want to see how the USA is going to respond now. Don't react like that. That's a reaction foul. You're getting upset a little bit. From Klingenberg. They've got this if they just keep their composure.
Into the box, one header. It's still loose. And it's going to roll out, but it's a corner for Mexico. Mallory Pugh is going to be coming in, replacing Ali Krieger. The other night we saw Krieger come out, replaced by an attacking player, and the U.S. went with 3 in the back.
So I bet that's what they'll do here. And they're going to bring in the athletic and pacey Mallory Pugh.
Off that corner, hit side netting. 76th minute. This is good, though, for Pugh to come in. Better for her to come into a game like this when it's scoreless and you're still fighting to win the game than if she came in and it's a 5-0 lead over Mexico.
Yeah, you're slowly testing her more and more in challenging situations to see if she can grow and how she's going to respond to it. It's a litmus test a little bit.
Yeah, the game is still very much on the line. So 2 changes now made for each side, offensive-minded, and Costa Rica's coach, Valverde, is watching this one. She saw 9 goals in her game, only 2, though, at halftime. She's scouting Mexico, obviously. Here's Horan, off the post, a big rebound that's clear. That's 2 posts now that the USA has hit. One by Press, one by Horan.
Oh, I love that she finally took that shot. She's been looking to dish it off, really taking onus for being a playmaker, and now we get to see her strength. I mean, she is a converted forward. She's good on the half turn.
Off that long throw-in, blocked and cleared by Noyola. Well, you've got to have some luck in this game, and so far, the luck has favored Mexico, with neither of those balls off the post going in. Morgan went down, and she gets the call. Free kick, U.S.
We get to see it again, and I think this is a momentum shifter. Oh, she had beaten Santiago. I love that in that spot she didn't look to pass because there's nobody running, and then it would have just been cleared. She adapted to what she saw, what wasn't working before, and she took a shot that time. Just a bit unlucky, didn't go in, but Jill Ellis has to be happy with that decision making.
This is about 25 yards away. Santiago's been so animated in all of these set pieces in terms of her positioning of the wall. Lloyd strikes. It's deflected off the wall. I'm thinking back to what you said before. They don't have that much time to train, and maybe that's part of the reason why the wall is not set up the way she wants.
Well, that, and Santiago speaks Spanish. And sometimes the people that are in that wall don't speak Spanish because they're the American-born Mexican players, because they have a relative, a parent that is from Mexico. So there's also that language barrier that's coming into play on this.
From that USA corner, that's Lloyd, went up hard for it. Blocked out, sent back in by Press. She'll have another go at it, right side. Horan. Help is coming with the run from Q. As a decoy, played inside. Referee's pointed to the spot. We'll have to see that one again. This is an interesting call. Hoping that a replay helps us out. I saw a ball go off a USA player off the chest.
I saw that as well.
And then I saw her point to the spot. So let's see it.
The ball comes in from Horan.
That's a U.S. player.
Okay, so what happened next?
Nieto,
they're saying
that
she
Nieto?
thinks it hit off a Nieto.
We didn't get a good look there. She had her hands look like behind her back.
It didn't change the direction of the ball, though. That shouldn't.
That's a tough one. From that angle, that's tough.
Oh.
Carly Lloyd with the game on her foot, basically, on this penalty.
But that's who you want taking this.
'80th minute. Zero's still on the board as Lloyd is ready, waiting for the whistle. World Player of the Year, Carly Lloyd steps up. Saved by Santiago. Big rebound and Lloyd scores. On the tap in, 1-0 U.S. Terrific save by Santiago, but Lloyd scores on the rebound.
And a big sigh of relief by Carly Lloyd and the collective fan base for the United States national team. And it makes... They've been knocking on the door. They've gotten these chances. They've hit the post twice. I don't think this is the right call from the angle we just saw. We get another one look here. The ball absolutely hits Nieto's hand.
She's pulling away from it.
But she's pulling away. She's not putting her hand towards it. Yeah. I think that is an absolutely horrible call by the referee. But Carly Lloyd capitalizes on it. Santiago did what she was supposed to do for Mexico. She got the initial save. It's up to the rest of her team to come back and get that rebound. But I love that Lloyd didn't put her head down or react. She just kept calm and followed the ball in. She maintained her focus, and because of that, the United States is up 1-0.
Press on the ball. Offside. When you look at it, the shooter on that penalty has the best view of it, so she sees the save made. As long as she doesn't give up on it, like you said, showing any kind of reaction. She just went for the ball.
So we had one coach, I think it was April, look at the up. That's not what's offside. It was Press's initial run from the center, coming from an offside position back in. Pugh was perfect position. April Heinrichs is the one that kind of instituted, like, we thought at the time, like, really weird training things to do. Like, we used to work on throw-ins, like, but not actually who, but actually how to throw a ball in. Ends up is because we had so many unforced errors from throw-in. And then positioning on PKs, and I'd never worked on that before. And we would do that over and over and over again. Who could get to that basically that shooter as quick as possible? And it comes down to positioning and readiness as a defender. And we would really basically doing track starts to get there just in case that were to happen. And I think at this level, you got to train all those things that you can train, that you can control. And not saying that Mexico could have even gotten to that ball, because I'm not sure, had they had a player whose speed and in good position, but at least it wouldn't have been as easy of a finish. Harassed Lloyd a little bit on the rebound.
This is still a shocking scoreline for those just tuning in. Difference in the game, a penalty kick. The rebound of it converted by Carly Lloyd on what has to be, at the very minimal, a very controversial penalty given against Mexico.
Yeah, if you're Mexico, you are going to be saying a lot of things after the game.
Yeah.
Not only to CONCACAF, but to the referees. And if you're Mexico, how deflating is that? But the United States making subs, now is the time they're going to rest some players. They're going to bring in Hinkle, who is naturally left-footed, improving technically, done a great job for Western New York. This is a player that has benefited from the league.
Do they go back then, Kate, to now 4 in the back?
Yeah, I think they go back to 4 in the back.
And let's see if Hinkle switches sides with Klingenberg, as we've seen.
Exactly. I think Klingenberg will go to the right. She's versatile with both feet, and she'll go back to left back.
Farias. Can Mexico get back into this game? Have to change their focus here, but this will still be an unexpected result if Mexico loses this just by one. Their goal differential will still be better than Costa Rica's. But Monday's game is going to decide, if this result stands, who'll be the second place team to go to the semifinals. The two semifinal winners are going to go to the Olympics. So we'll know, strangely enough, who goes to the Olympics before that final is even played.
Right. What really matters is that semifinal victory, because then it comes down to seeding.
Klingenberg. There she is on that right side. Pulling it back, 85th minute. Just a 1-0 lead for the United States on a Carly Lloyd goal now. If you're keeping track at home, 21 goals in her last 16 games. For Carly Lloyd, her 84th international goal. Johnston, Klingenberg, Mallory Pugh. Deflected ball. Oh, Klingenberg, great job to keep it in play. Otherwise, it was a Mexico throw-in. Here's press. The U.S. trying to settle it down. Here is Noyola. Carly Lloyd, that's her 10th goal in Olympic qualifying. 4 of those have come against Mexico. So Lloyd's up there among the career leaders. You mentioned Dominguez has 14, Sinclair 15. Ocampo. Hinkle tracks back. Ocampo, nice move. And Solo had to tip it over the bar. Corner kick, Mexico. This one may not be over yet.
Yeah, Ocampo has held the offensive output for Mexico on her shoulders for years, and she has an excellent long-range shot, has scored in a World Cup off a shot 40 yards out from the other side. And the great thing about Solo, she rarely loses her focus. You're never going to catch her not paying attention.
That's part of her brilliance, so the entire game not tested. And right there in the 86th at the time, she had to make a big save.
So we see Samardzic coming in. Plays for Kentucky. Usually likes to play on the right side. Noyola's coming out, but she'll step up. She's more an offensive type of person, and she can score. She won the Golden Boot in the Under-20 World Cup with 6 goals. So they're putting a little bit more offense in.
Ocampo sends it up there. Intended for Katie Johnson. Look at that speed. Mallory Pugh. And then lost out. It'll be, or I should say Hinkle on that far side. It'll be a throw-in for Mexico. Ari Romero, 88th minute. Well, if you based the way Mexico's played against the U.S. and the way Costa Rica did, you'd have to give Mexico an edge going into Monday.
That's going to be a great game. With everything on the line. The opportunity to play against the first-ranked team on the other side.
Can Mexico do this again on Monday? This kind of a defensive performance? Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they line up. Here is the mystery foul. The handball that did hit her hand, but she was taking it away.
Yeah.
That is just an absolutely horrible call.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Lloyd, who wears the armband, has become the de facto leader of this team. Doing what a leader does in moments that matter, stepping up and putting away. It wasn't the prettiest finish, but yet she responded correctly. She paid attention and she slotted it in.
Farias with his free kick from distance. See how much stoppage time is put on, but certainly there's time for another chance or two. Played into the box. Solo grabs it in traffic. This is the most competitive game I have seen between the U.S. and Mexico in years. Years and years.
I agree. That was easy. It was a flighted ball, not driven enough. Sola was able to read the fly of the ball the entire time. And with no one rushing on her, didn't harass her to make that save one little bit. This is one of the best matchups I've seen between these two teams. Besides when Mexico beat the United States in World Cup qualifying.
Yeah, back in 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
This reminds me of 2004 qualifying when the United States, I played in that game where it's 3-2. Dominguez scored 2 goals. In the U.S., we had to come back 3 goals. And it was very similar to this team in the fact that you had a lot of veterans, but then you were also seeing transition where half the lineup was new from 03.
Each team has made 3 subs here. This result stands. Leo Cuellar won't be happy that they didn't get at least a point out of it with their effort, but certainly can be proud of his team, the way they played. He had said before the game, maybe part of it is gamesmanship, he had said the U.S. could field 2 teams and have them both be in the top 10 in the world.
That's probably right.
Yeah, no, he is.
I mean,
it could have been gamesmanship, but it's probably true, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem from any coach that becomes the United States manager is who do you play? Because sometimes it's not the best 11 players. It's not at all. It's who's the best 11 that function together as a team.
3 minutes, stoppage time. We're in the first minute now. Into the box it comes. It's Santiago. So if you're Mexico, if your goal was to keep that goal differential down, you have done a magnificent job today.
They've tested the United States' patience on the ball and their decision making. And that's exactly what Jill Ellis would want. She wanted to see how adaptable they could be. For me, I saw Lindsay Horan adapt in this game, especially in the second half, just figuring it out. You know, she's been asked to play a completely different role, transitioning from forward to midfield, where she used to, back to pressure and turn, but I think she's better facing the goal.
Connie Lloyd couldn't get through. Help is there from press. Blocked by Nieto. And now it's going to be cleared upfield. It's Julie Johnson, first one on it. Back for Solo. A third of the way through with stoppage time. Sauerbrunn. Hinkle.
For the United States, this victory is big, not only because now they're going to be in the semifinals. They booked their berth. They booked that slot. But now they're going to have a chance to maybe change the lineup a bit and give some rest to some players that going to need their legs as the tournament goes on. But also give a chance to some new players. I mean, this is a completely different roster, some surprise omissions. And to see who they come out and start the next game if they're able to make some changes, if Jill Ellis wants to do that. So the interest in what's going to happen the next couple days, I'm curious.
Yeah, bad move, by the way, by CONCACAF to make them play on Monday.
JP,
bad move.
We are women. This is what CONCACAF and FIFA do. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do, but it's a bad move. Rest and recovery has to be tomorrow, and you're playing again on Monday.
Well, especially add the fact that there are less, the rosters are smaller in an Olympics. You
That's
only
wrong.
get, you don't have the 23 spots and you have a World Cup. Well, it's better than it used to be. It used to be 16. So that and every other day. So
here's press. Time running out, about a half minute to go. Klingenberg. One of the better performances I've seen from this Mexico team, and they're not going to get a reward for it in terms of at least a point in the game, which you could argue they deserved.
yeah, Mexico definitely deserved a point in this game. A very questionable PK call.
Seconds left. The referee holds true to 3 minutes of stoppage. Just a few seconds beyond that. That's going to do it. Game over. USA has 6 points now in the bank. This one was difficult for them. Just a 1-0 win.
It was difficult, and they're going to walk away very disappointed, but not as disappointed as Mexico, who fought valiantly, didn't give them a lot of great open chances, had a little bit of luck because the ball hit the post a couple times. But Mexico has got to be confident heading into their next game.
In the 80th minute, Carly Lloyd gets the only goal of the game. Another shout out for Hope Solo. It's number 93. And Costa Rica and their coaching staff have seen what they wanted to see. They know it's going to be a tough game for them on Monday against Mexico. Final score, USA 1, Mexico nothing. Game-winning goal, who else but Carly Lloyd. Hope you enjoyed this one. USA gets the win. They are now on top in Group A, 1-0 over Mexico.
Congratulations, Lindsay. Ladies and gentlemen, CONCACAF gratefully acknowledges the outstanding support of its Women's Olympic Qualifier Championship partners, Scotiabank, Nike, Coca-Cola, and Powerade. Thank you for joining us here at Toyota Stadium, and please arrive home safely.